Fellas, we are here. What's up? How y'all feeling?
What up?
I am great. Brian Robinson is no longer here in Washington. No ill will with B Rob, but that 6th round pick is looking mighty awesome.
Mighty awesome to say. What I mean, definitely. We actually thought that, when the report came out that Ben Standing was saying that he was going to get traded, and then I was Jordan Shorts who doubled down on that probably a few days later. When all that came out, what I mean, of course, in the beginning, I trade, we might get some compensation, but then kind of like midway through, I'm thinking, well, shit, our hands are showed at this point. What I mean? Will we even get anything for him? I was thinking he might get waived or cut. But to be able to get a trade in and, like you said, to get us a pick, anything really, what I mean, I was happy with it. How did y'all feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree 100%. I personally am getting to the point where we got to stop, not expecting Adam Peters to get a trade done. I did the same thing with I want to say Jahan Dotson when there was rumors that he was going to be moved. I didn't expect to get much for him. Anytime you hear a trade partner or a player being traded from Washington, don't just assume the worst. I think you got to assume that we're going to be able to get something just for who our general manager is. I think a big reason why this deal got done in the first place is because he's familiar with San Francisco. And as we know in business, partnerships are everything. And that's why you were able to get a 6th-round pick for Brian Robinson. Also, it does help that you take on a little bit of his contract. But,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was 1.25. I heard that we absorbed in that deal. He was only due through $3 million. So that means that San Francisco is on the hook for 1.75, which is a sneaky deal for them. I mean, they get a veteran guy. What I mean, he was on this rookie expiring contract the final year. And what I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be motivated being shipped out there. And what I mean, breath of fresh air, you're on the West Coast, beautiful views and all types of things. So I think it's new beginnings, and I hope and wish B Rob well. But I think he'll be fine. And you're going into an offense with a Shanahan offense. You're going to get the ball. So yeah, John, when the alert came through, how did you, what was your reaction? How did you feel about it?
When it first came across, I didn't know the team because between Schefter and Rappaport, all it said was Brian Robinson Jr. has been traded in exchange for a 6th-round pick. I said, well, who's the team? I was expecting Miami, expecting New Orleans, expecting Tennessee, might be expecting Cleveland or Chicago. And I was like, all right, well, it's not any of the usual suspects. So who's could it be? And it came out with San Fran. I went, nope. Yep, that makes sense. Besides Christian McCaffrey, every other running back on the roster seems to get injured, whether it's Isaac Guerrero, the rookie Jordan James out of Oregon, Corey Kiner out of Cincinnati. I'm like, well, they down like 6 running backs in practice, so they need someone behind the Achilles tendon Christian McCaffrey. So I was like, all right, this makes sense. I feel bad for Brian's paycheck because half the check San Fran's covering going right back to San Francisco taxes, but it's California. But I was like, all right, 6th-round pick. We finally get another draft pick for next year. So I think it was just made to happen at this rate.
Yeah, definitely. And now that you say that about the tax, that's a good point. Shit, well, maybe that's another reason why they split. And he probably getting, a portion over here where it's a lot less. So it worked out for him. And I think they handled the situation, outside of, it coming out that, they excused him from practice, didn't have a locker anymore, all those things.
Yeah.
I think outside of that, they handled the situation very professionally and smoothly. And it seemed to work out. But Reedie, tell us your reaction when the news broke.
There was no reaction. I was unmoved by it. They kind of set us up for it, so I knew it was coming at some point. It's just a matter of when. I thought that they handled this pretty well. Ben Static first reported it. Kind of like back then, I was like, no, they're not going to trade B-Rod. That might be Cap, but I never know Static to Cap. Then fast forward, Jordan Schultz. A few days later, Jordan Schultz comes out and says, "Oh yeah, well B-Rob is going to be traded." Blah blah blah. Then a couple of days later, or a day or so later, Dan Quinn comes out and says, "We're trying to figure this out." Then 2 days later, he's moved. So it was kind of a quick process. It didn't linger. once you started hearing all of the different reports as far as his locker being taken down and things of that nature, that just makes you to believe maybe there was some other things going on for them to remove his locker so fast, or that may have not gotten out. But it didn't get messy. It was a clean move. I was expecting maybe like a 5th round pick if we got a pick, but I'm just happy we got something, because it could have been a wave situation, or worse. So I'm just glad. I'm just glad that we got something for it. A 6th round pick. I wasn't surprised that it was San Francisco. Kind of took me back, made me think about Ron and the Panthers and stuff like that. Kind of keep, doing dealings with people But I mean, John Lynch, he knows them well, and they kind of have that relationship. And they got something in return. They had a need, and we had a need, and they were able to figure it out. So I'm just glad it's over with. We could just move on from it. But wish him nothing but the best and prosperities in San Francisco. Like Juan alluded to at the beginning of the top of the show, no hard feelings towards B-Rob. He gave us a solid 3 years here, 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 receiving touchdowns. He contributed it, unlike some other people that I know that we keep on the roster that don't contribute. So nothing bad to say about B-Rob. And also pay Scary Terry.
Hey, Scary Terry for sure. Yeah, so it says here B-Rob his base salary is 3.4. So we pay 1.25. So that basically San Francisco is responsible for just around 1.9 of that deal. So not a bad situation for both parties. Actually, my math is a little off. I think that's 2.2. But yeah, B-Rob was a 3rd round pick in 2022. As we all know, he overcame huge adversity as a rookie. Being shot. I believe he was actually out getting some pizza with his girl or something like that out on 8th Street. And, it was an attempted robbery. Of course, fought back and ended up being shot in the knee. Had to have surgery and whatnot, and came out that rookie year and still, was able to get on the field and contributed. Came out to many men. Like, he got good things, nothing but good things to talk about with B-Rob. He kind of fell out of the likes of the coaches in the sense of just not being a scheme fit. With the running back situation with his room, and just in the offense in itself. Cliff Kingsbury, he does a lot of movement. You see, it's a lot of zone reads and stuff like that. One cut, decisiveness, you need to be to it. And B-Rob always had like that hesitant step. Like he's just overthinking and, like you said, not being decisive. So, which that's ultimately led to this. But I think, farewell, no malintent, no issues, no nothing. I think that it's a good situation for both parties, and I feel like, we came out on top being able to get a pick from that.
One thing I want to allude to your point was Brian Robinson. It may not have just been his lack of being able to just pick a hole or just go with a move. Maybe he just naturally doesn't have it. I mean, you have a role in this league as a power back. Everyone is built different. And I think with Brian Robinson, it alluded to the point of just not being a fit for this offense. He's going to go to San Francisco and assume the running back 2 role, which quite frankly, his numbers spoke to that. He is a running back 2 in this league. He was just posing as a running back 1 due to the fact of our backfield not being talented whatsoever in terms of outside of Brian Robinson. And with the change that's coming for Brian Robinson and Washington, I think it's a fair trade. Fans always try to point to who got fleeced or who got up on one another. Yeah. I think this is as fair as it gets. The only thing I will say that kind of leans in the favor of us in Washington is the fact that we got a 6th round pick for a guy that's going to be on an expiring contract, right? They only have 1 year of service out of Brian Robinson, unless he goes berserk and they decide to extend him, which is highly unlikely due to the fact that the turnover rate at the running back position is super high. But when it comes to us moving forward, I think this is just all signs pointing towards the young fella. They give him the keys, and I don't think Washington. It's nothing that they're doing wrong here, right? They're taking a risk on a 7th round pick. So what? Right? He doesn't pan out. Okay, at least you tried. You weren't gonna do anything with Brian Robinson. He doesn't play special teams. He doesn't do anything. That's the reason why he was moved, because he was just the outlier of the group.
Yeah,
definitely. Reedie over there checking out your cut. I see you. You all right? Over there checking out your haircut. You look like you.
No, I was just moving. No, I wasn't. What you on, bro? What you on, bro?
Yeah, little John there with the flashlight.
You try to get one of these balls. How to spark the bomb Gazor looking at his boy. You try to say something. But for real though, like, I think this kind of speaks to what Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt was able to come in and do, and a C-Rod. You know what I'm saying? C-Rod kind of, and it takes me back to Lake Lewis Jr., what he said when he was on Reedie and Zee's Monday Command a few weeks ago, where he talked about Jeremy Reeves, where he was saying, I was saying, like, why doesn't Jeremy Reeves give him like more opportunities? And he said it was kind of like a political situation. And I think it may have kind of been that for C-Rod in a sense. Like, it kind of got me to thinking about that. But there, you know, all reports coming out of Ashburn are saying that he's in better shape. He's moving a lot faster and quicker and stuff like that. He dropped weight, stuff like that. He's in shape, and you know what I'm saying? He's in there soaking it up. So, you know, between JCM and C-Rod, you know, that just goes to show like, okay, B-Rob, you know, you're on the last year of your deal. Okay, we came to grips. We're not going to re-sign you. So like, let's just move on now. You know, just get this out of the way and just put our focus into other backs that might give us a little bit more. Because I was a guy that always said I love B-Rob, but it's just like down the stretch last year, it's just like he's just a second or two late. Just in with his eyes and in his cutting. I didn't like his cutting. Like, he would always cut back towards the safety instead of trying to run away from the safety. Like, and then it was like he was trying to give the safety a move, but it was like, just like Juan said, he may have just not had it. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is not built the same. So I think this is a win-win for both organizations. You know, it filled a need that they need out of San Francisco, and it also kind of like got us something in the scheme of things. And I think, you know, like you said, Z, you called it, like, Ja'Cory Crosskey-Merritt, Bill, you know, is probably the starter. And then also the resurgence of Austin Eckler, if we can keep him healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's looking really good too. Most people want to say he lost a step, but I don't think he lost a step. I just think he has, like Juan said, you know, everybody has their role, their specific role. And I think that B-Rob was just like, you know, kind of like the odd man out. And they just thought that this by committee approach would, you know, get it done. But it also keeps Jeremy McNichols on this roster as well. But that speaks to his special teams ability, him being a willing blocker in the pass game and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys thought that B-Rob was a really good blocker in pass protection and stuff like that. I mean, I thought he was okay. But there were some guys that were a little bit better. So this just goes to show, like, you know, this regime is paying attention to different things that previous regimes didn't pay attention to, because, you know, we thought Chris Rodriguez was a guy that was a perennial bubble guy and a guy that couldn't make the roster. But when he did get in, he showed way more quickness and way more speed than Brian Robinson has shown since he's been here.
I want to allude to that point. That's a great point right there. And I thought about this the other day when I was thinking about C-Rod and why he didn't get the opportunities that he did and that he's getting now. Because I'm like, Ron Rivera drafted this guy out of Kentucky, right? And this was a Rivera pick. But when he was here with Ron, he was just a practice squad, call you up if injury needed kind of guy. But you get with a new regime and they see, hold on, this guy has something and we're going to give him fair opportunities. And that's how I've always felt about Chris Rodriguez, right? Like, he's always came in late in the season, i.e. Tennessee last year, has a really good game, but they never gave him the opportunities to put it on display for consistency. Now he's getting that opportunity. And I think that just goes to show, like, how poor our franchise was once ran, because I'm sure there are talented players, Mitchell Tinsley, who could have been a commander, but isn't, because of Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney. And man,
sounds like some bitterness right there, Juan.
Nah, Mitchell Tinsley's a dog, bro.
He happy to be right about one of his guys.
Nah, Mitchell Tinsley's a dog. Shout out to Jahan for putting us on him. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely. That was all Jahan. But I agree with you on the Tinsley thing too. Shit, I would rather have him now than he be our fourth receiver than some of these other guys sitting around. That's another subject. We don't running backs today.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything to add to that, John?
Not to the running back thing, but back to Juan's point about being built different. If you look at the past few years of Alabama running backs, from your Derrick Henrys to your Josh Jacobs to your Najee Harris's to your Brian Robinson Jr.'s, they're all power backs. Josh Jacobs got a little bit more speed and cut to him, but like Derrick Henry, what is he in Tennessee and Baltimore? Power back. What is Najee Harris in Pittsburgh and hopefully Los Angeles if he doesn't pull the JPP but to his face? Power back. What is B-Rob for us been? Power back. What has Josh Jacobs been primarily in Las Vegas and now Green Bay? Power back. That was the Nick Saban, mold was, hey, you got to be a power back. If you've got speed, cool, but I expect you to go pull up 5 quality yards versus 9, a 9-yard rush. Now, under Kalen DeBoer, you've got Jam Miller, you've got a bunch of these other guys, but that whole Saban lineage was, if you're a running back coming out of Alabama, you're going to be a power back. So it's going to be I think we're going to put a new era of running back in DC between C-Rod, J-Mac, Eckler, and then Bill, because they've all got better speed and better cuts. But I think this is good for San Fran in terms of like if Christian McCaffrey is the healthiest running back on your roster, you don't have a running back room. B-Rob, for the most part, he doesn't have those injury concerns.
Damn, John, that was harsh. That was harsh.
He started out by calling him Mr. What did he say? Achilles McCaffrey?
Achilles tendon?
Yeah, but no, to your point, John, about the Alabama and Saban thing, I feel like they had different backs. It's a saying in the running back coach community is like, give me 4 or 5 before you give me 40. So like, I'll take that any day, because at the end of the day, the object of the game is to continue to move the chains, continue to eat the clock, and it's so many different variables in the game of football. But like, give me 4 or 5 yards before you give me 40. I'll take that any day. But I do think, to your point, you're correct. But I think all of those backs that you mentioned, besides B-Rob, their 1-2 cuts is way better than his.
Yeah,
at a power back. Like, and I was telling Z on our show, I was like, Alfred Morris was considered a power back, but he had that little wiggle that you need. And I'm not saying that he has to be a shifty guy like a Saquon Barkley or a Bucky Irvin or a Jahmyr Gibbs or something like that.
Yeah.
But just you got to be a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like a little bit better with your cutting and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You guys make some good points on that, for sure. And only thing I can add to it is that I'm just excited for what it brings to our backfield as well. Opening, like you said, opening the gates to see what C-Rod can really be, for this offense, but also, the emergence of my guy, Bill. Eckler is definitely going to complement and come in and, add his sprinkles as well. But the 1-2 punch is definitely going to be C-Rod and Bill. So I'm excited for that. And just overall, just to continue to move forward with the team and the offense. Some other things around the offense that I would like to see get handled and ironed out, as we kind of close out the final preseason game and kind of see, where this roster is going to, fall at, come next week, but also just to kind of keep an eye out on the, the waiver wire or the releases and everything of that nature, because you can always potentially upgrade. Because in my head, I don't think McNichols is a lock. There could end up being another running back that, we can come in and swap out or however it may be. So it's just we're in a good spot. And I think, going into, after the draft, we felt like the cuts would come from the back end of the running back room, and they went from the top. So,
yeah,
it is.
Yeah. That's right there. I want to go back to Juan's point about Ron doesn't know how to, bad drafter, because obviously, being me the draft guy, I've talked about this on Ballin In Burgundy. I talked about this with Tone on Herb's show. I'm like, yeah, we have a total of 10 guys from all 4 Ron's draft left, with
I
B-Rob
thought it
being
was 7. I thought it was 7. I seen something yesterday. It said 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Actually, yeah, it's 7. No, you're absolutely right. So that's even worse. 7 guys in 4 years are still on your roster. Quan Martin, starter. C-Rod, so that's his last year, was 23. Percy Butler, Cole Turner, which I can put APB out for him.
He's holding on by a thread.
Exactly.
He's probably going to get cut.
I can see that. Chris Paul, who again is going to be on the same thing. Cosme is going to be your franchise guard, and then John Bates, who you just re-signed. No one from the 20 class. No one after the 5th round in 21. The legitimate one. Actually, the one guy we got from that Chris Olave trade back is on by thread. And then your 7 and 6 rounders from 23 is legitimately might be the worst draft ease in terms of Ron Rivera I've seen in my time. I'm not saying something because Belichick.
And that means a lot coming from John Kiper Jr. He's dialed into the draft. So to be able to, evaluate that draft class and look how it is, I agree with you, Sean.
Yeah.
And John, I seen your father yesterday at Walmart. Mel Kiper, he's from Baltimore. He lives out here. So I seen him at Walmart yesterday. I was like, that's Mel Kiper, bro. I was kind of glazing a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
You ain't tell me about that, Bobby. You could have got a pick.
Yeah.
I would have asked you why you ain't telling me.
But I'll be trying to be like, how we are, like being from DC, like we don't want to be them guys that like want to pull up on people.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah, so I really wasn't listening, but like, so I go over my father-in-law house a lot of times, and we smoke cigars and stuff like that. And they always talk about like how Mel Kiper went to. So it's a high school that I think my son's going to go to. It's called Calvert Hall College, and they were saying like he went to Calvert Hall, like he's in the area. I didn't even know he was from here, and he was like, "Yeah, I see him all the time. Like he still lives here in Baltimore." And I'm just in Walmart yesterday, and I see him. I'm looking like, bro, that's Mel Kiper, bro. Like the same crappy haircut, all that. I'm like, bro, it's crazy, bro. Like so yeah.
Old Mel Kiper, man.
I've been like, Mel, how's Shador doing?
Legend. That's a legend there. But yeah, the Commanders draft picks. We have a first. We now have a first. Well, now our picks are 1 first, 1 third, 1 fifth, 2 6, and a 7th. So we still, missing a 2nd and a 4th. And I honestly don't think we're done. Accumulating picks. I think. In a situation, I was, talking to Juan about it. I think as cut downs come, there may be some more trades. We have some, like, i.e. the cornerback room, where you have, you're pretty deep. You got 5 guys that can really, go out there and have some great reps and play for some teams. I seen Josh Taylor on A to Z kind of propose Jonathan Jones as a potential trade candidate. I don't necessarily think Jonathan Jones, but definitely a guy like Noah who could be, somebody potentially move. I don't want to trade him, but it's just in a sense there's like you hold on to 5 vets, you could potentially move him. He goes somewhere else, and you can kind of accumulate another pick. So just something to kind of think about. But also, like I mentioned earlier, just keeping an eye out for those cuts, because you got to always look to improve your team. And it just seems like they're not, in a sense, I feel like with bringing in like more vets and not going out to get the undrafted and the younger guys, like they're trying to get guys that's already ready-made, so we can they don't have to go back and teach the basics, and we can kind of come in and just get this thing rolling, because we are, believe it or not, we're definitely on the Super Bowl chase. So it's not really a lot of time for too much development. You're going to develop some guys, but
yeah,
you need a lot of guys to come already ready-made.
Yeah, I think 2 other guys that are going to be either cut casualties depending on what happens, or if a team, again, like Miami, like New Orleans, who are just going through the injury bugs, need more depth, I would package up Noah and Cleveland Farrell. Say, hey, would y'all give us a fourth or a fifth?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, again, with the emergence of Jacob Martin, with the emergence of Dorrance Armstrong, grabbing in Dietrich Wise, bringing in Von Miller, you know, the somewhat confidence in JJB. You've still got Jerzon Newton. You can rotate in and out of the edge. You got Javon Kindler. You're going to rotate in and out of the edge. You've got rotation pieces. So Cleveland Farrell is sitting there like, am I a part of the, do I have a locker now?
And they love Dorrance. So Dorrance is pretty much a lock, so
that's a lock. And then, like you said, Noah you've got 3 veterans on the roster, and then Trey and Mikey, you're like, oh, we've got the depth, and they still like Carlin Vigors, even though he didn't toast in for 2 touchdowns in 30 seconds. There's going to be a point of time, whether it's, you know, Miami's going to call, New Orleans is going to call, Dallas could call for a corner, Minnesota, because they have no defensive backs in that room. Like, there's going to be teams who are going to need, you know, different pieces, especially with between yesterday to Sunday being the last preseason game, and then we kick off the season technically in 2 weeks, but we're going to call it next week. Teams are going to need, you know, veteran guys for depth. So I would package up Noah, if we had to, Noah and Cleveland Farrell, and say, hey, would someone give us a 5th round pick or even a 4th round pick, considering you're getting 2 guys?
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if I'm ready to move off of Noah Igbenogany. I mean, we're talking about a 26, 27-year-old former first-round pick that seems to be a surging at some point. I feel like Washington fixed him almost in terms of, one, he got another contract, so that shows his value. But this past preseason and training camp, I've seen him 3 times live. He looks like the best corner out there, and that's saying a lot with Marshawn Lattimore and Trey Amos being out there and Mikey. But I'm talking about specifically for him because he's more so running like the second team, so he's looking pretty good. And then in the preseason game the other night, I mean, I watched the film. He's a very, very good tackler in open space. I mean, I think there's a few guys on this roster that I trust the most. I think Quan Martin is the guy I trust the most in terms of one-on-one open field. He's going to bring that pass catcher down. But also with Noah he has this physical presence that I think lacks across this cornerback room, or should I say it's getting better across this cornerback room. He's not afraid to get up in your chest. He's able to run with you. He did have a pass interference on Jamar Chase, which I think, if I'm being completely honest about, all he had to do was turn his head. And that's what we say most about cornerbacks, is just turn your head. The ball was horrible. If you look at it, the ball was not catchable. That was a bad football by Joe Burrow. And all he had to do was turn his head. He'd have been good. But long story short, I think he's too valuable to this rotation of this cornerback room to move off. I mean, he's too good. Again, 26, 27 years old, former first-round pick. I don't think it's worth getting a 5th round pick for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think because of the name value, because someone's going to like, oh, no, Igbenogany, you've got plenty of corners. I think that's going to hold up the reason why I don't want to move him. But if someone came up to me and said, hey, we give you a 4 for him alone, I'm going to go, how many details?
Yeah, I'm with Juan. I don't know if I'm ready to move on from Noah as well, given his age and just his overall ability. And I do feel like when he was in Dallas, he was making some plays or whatever. But they kind of lost confidence in him. And Juan's right. We kind of fixed him a little bit. He comes over with Dan Quinn, continues working with Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. And we've seen what he could do. And I think by far he's. I mean, if we didn't go out and get Amos, he would be a starter, like, in my opinion. So, like, he's the 4th best cornerback on this roster. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not ready to, I mean, I get your guys' point as far as the name and somebody that's might be worth it, but I don't think I'm ready to move on from him just yet. I feel like let all of them be dogs over there. Like, you know what I mean? For a 5th round pick, like, all them draft picks don't really mean too much. They mean something, but they really don't mean too much for a 5th round pick. Now, if it was going to garner a 1st or a 2nd round pick, then okay, yeah, maybe we might have to move on. But for a 5th round pick, I'm not really sold on that.
Yeah, I mean, like John said, I don't want to necessarily want to move him, but I just think in a business sense, it's something you got to think about, because there are going to be teams hungry that need a corner, and they calling you for the fifth guy on your depth chart, then
it's the fourth guy on the depth chart. But I'm just saying, like we say all the time, you're one injury away from
over Jones. You think he over Jones?
Yes.
Nah.
Jonathan Jones is really, he's a corner, but really he's a safety. He's transitioning into that mode of being a safety. I'm not saying that he's to me, what I've seen in training camp and what I've seen, I think that Igbenogany is a better cover than Jonathan Jones at this point in his career. Right now, at this point in his career.
Fair.
So I would take him as the fourth cornerback, and then a Jonathan Jones, Vigors, and all them other guys. You get in where you fit in. You make the roster. You make the roster. You get on the practice squad. You get on the practice squad. But like we've seen, cornerback is a position where you get a soft tissue injury. Then who's up? You know what I mean? Who's up? I would rather have Noah somebody that's proven, that knows the scheme, that knows everything, that played viable minutes last year, than to let him go. Just me personally. Maybe I'm a Noah I guy, and you know how we say in this fan page, when it's our guy, we don't ever want to let him go. Maybe that's my thing. I don't know.
No, that's fair though.
I think it's your guy, but you're also thinking from a logical standpoint of you get rid of Noah Igbenogany. Now, cornerback that was once looked at as a
strength.
Crazy enough a strength now, right after last year, it's looked at as a strength. Now you got to talk about Colin Vigors or keeping Bobby Price if you move on from one of these guys in Noah I. So I don't think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think we're comfortable with anybody that we have to put out there. If it's Jonathan Jones, if it's Noah Igbenogany, we're good. And we don't want to create a problem because, again, we've seen what happens when you have to go into a position group last year with no type of depth. That's how you get Michael Davis exposed versus Atlanta, So just don't mess with the cornerback room if you actually. It's too important of a position.
Yeah, I figure like the quarterback room should be Lattimore, Amos, Mikey, Noah I, Jonathan Jones. After that, it's up in the air. If you keep 6 or whatever. But those 5, like I solidify, and then Jonathan Jones has that versatility that he can go back and be your middle of the field safety. You know what I'm saying? So, we have that ability, and that I love that depth. Like, and to Juan's point, that's how you get to a Davis. That's a Saint Groupie or whomever was coming in the pinch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel you. So next up, Jayden Daniels, ranked 21 in the top 100. I would say, me personally, I expected him to be top 10. So seeing him being 21, I was like, kind of feel like he got a little snub. But I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a big deal. But I definitely would have liked to see him higher. I don't think I can sit and name 20 guys better than JD5, even with him being second year. What's you guys' thoughts on that? Anybody?
There you go, John. John by the name of 40 guys. Look at him.
I said, let me think real, because I've had this conversation like 3 times already.
Yeah, I don't think it's a snub. Like, I think I expected him to go in the top. I would say that I expected him to go in the top 15 to 20 range. I expected him to go in that range because you got to remember, you got to think about these top tier linemen and stuff like that. There are like these 3 or 4 linemen, then defensive, like, just affect the game differently. And then at the end of the day, as great as Jayden Daniels was last year, he was a rookie. So you gotta factor that in. As much as everybody wants to say, "Oh, it's voted on by the players," but people always have this mentality. Okay, I don't know, I gotta see it again. So that may have been factored into it. So we gotta, take that onus on that as well. But I thought it was all right. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, all right, I'm gonna show y'all motherfuckers. All right, I'm 21. Okay, cool. See what I do this year. So it was a motivational thing for him, like, to be better. So I don't think it was necessarily like a snub or whatever. I think it was kind of like in that window, but I thought it would have been 15 to 20, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I look at it like this. I'm interested to see the rest of the list to see. Then I can maybe make my point to say, oh, no, Jay is probably higher than this person or whatnot. But the thing that's interesting to me the most is how highly touted he's talked about But CJ Stroud was ranked at 20 coming off of his rookie year, so slightly better than JD5. So which makes me think that it has a lot to do with a lot of these players feeling like, let me see it again. It's maybe a one hit wonder of a season or whatever it may have you. But with Jayden, for me personally, I feel like it's cool. I don't really put too much stress into it. I don't care, quite frankly, about the top 100. It's cool to be number one and whatnot, but at the end of the day, that ain't gonna guarantee a Super Bowl ring. You can be you can be number 50, you could be off the list and be a part of a team to win a Super Bowl. So Jayden being 21 after a rookie year, that's just a mental nugget for us to come back around this time next year where he's probably gonna be ranked number 3. Let's go 3.
Yeah, I don't see 21 being a snub per se, because I had this argument with Herb a few weeks ago. He was like, "Man, I can see Jayden is as high as 10." I'm like, I think as high as like 15, 20. So I think 21, you could say it's too high for him. I think because like I just names right off the head: Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar, Hurts, Jamar, Jetta, Saquon, Pat Surtain, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, TJ Watt. There's 11 guys right there. So that would put him at 12.
Yeah, and even it's 5 quarterbacks that are like he's the number 6 quarterback, if we're being honest. You can throw Stafford in the mix. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a snub, but go ahead, John. Continue your point.
Yeah. I mean, you said Stafford. I'm gonna put in I don't know if he's already on the list, but Derek Stingley. So there's 12 guys right there alone that you can just go, all right, well, 2 of the best positions at wide receiver, because Justin, depending on who you have, Jettas or Jamar, that's 1A number 2. Like there's a conversation for both at 1. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. There's your 4 pillars of the NFL quarterback. Saquon, best running back this season. Pat Surtain and Stingley, your best corners in the league. Hendrickson, Garrett, and Watt. There's your 3 best pass rushers in the league. So I don't think 21's a snub. I think it's right. I had him right around that 15, 20-ish range. So I think he's right where he's gonna be for right now. And again, to Reedie's point, he's a rookie. The greatest rookie greatest rookie season you could say of all time. But it's not going to be, oh, he's a top 5 guy. He's an NFL top 5, because this is I think if I remember correctly, this is based on all the players and coaches. This isn't a popularity vote thing.
Hit the wrong button. Respect. But yeah, moving on to preseason. We got a last final preseason game. And just, we won't get much into it. But what do you guys want to see out of this game? It's a closeout game. We're not going to be much starters. What's 1 to 2 things y'all want to see come out of this game, man? One, you're going to be in attendance. So, let's go ahead first. What are you mainly expecting to see today? You want to mute?
You're mute.
So for me personally, what I'm looking forward to seeing is, first of all, health. Don't get hurt, please. Final preseason game. Secondly, Sam Hartman and Josh Johnson, give my playmakers opportunities to do something. Ja'Cory Brooks, Luke McCaffrey, Ben Simmons, if he plays. Like we need a quarterback that's going to at least make it interesting to watch, because we know it's going to be tough to watch anyway once all these 4th, 5th guys that ain't going to be here on Tuesday. It's going to be tough to watch. But I do, for some reason, have a feeling that, because, again, the running back room is no B-Rob no more. Austin Eckler's not playing. Bill has to play. Maybe he doesn't, but I feel like is it going to be just the Chris Rodriguez and Demetrius Felton show? Like, he has Allen, but
Nichols, Kaz, and Felton. Because I you got to think, Bill's wearing no contact jerseys at practice. Like, they definitely try to preserve this guy. And that wasn't really a big deal on his injury, that the shoulder thing. So he ended up playing last week, and he played a lot last week.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's why I'm thinking they're not going to play him for the final game.
That's a good point.
So for me, I would say, if you're finished, Juan.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, I would say I would hit that same number 1, health, come out of this thing injury free, ready to go into Tuesday cut down day by 4:00 p.m. with everybody healthy, able to get down. 20 guys won't be here come 4 o'clock on. Well, no, I take that back because it's another day until they can do the practice squad, right? So we still got to wait for that.
Yeah.
But we'll get down to 53 and health. But I would say that my one key person that I'm interested in seeing, KJ Osborne. Come make this team, KJ.
He won't.
Ja'Cory Brooks. Come make this team, Ja'Cory. Because I will say those are my 4. No, not in this order, but my 4th and 5th receivers. We're keeping 5 receivers. 5 receivers, and that's a hot take. 5 receivers. I don't know about 6. We need to go get some other depth. We need to go bring somebody else in. And y'all know who my 5 receivers are right now, and it's Debo, Terry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I forgot about Jalen Lane. Debo, Terry, Noah Brown, Jaden Lane, Ja'Cory Brooks, and it will be who did I mention before? The
Osborne.
KJ Osborne.
So no Luke, no Gallup.
Yeah, Gallup is cut.
Martin,
Luke is cut.
No Chris Moore.
No Chris Moore. Maybe practice squad. Maybe Luke makes the practice squad. But I don't think he makes his initial 53 roster.
Hey, bro.
I'm just saying.
I
I
have
put KJ Osborne up against him. And I know they're going to go crazy over that, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But so KJ, make me right and make this team. That could be the one that don't make the team. That's a hot take.
Good. Yeah.
I'm hating on Luke, ain't I? Because I just put KJ Osborne in front of him.
You did.
What you smoking?
That is hating.
It's those cigars. Those cigars he's got.
I take that back. KJ Osborne probably ain't gonna make the team. I gotta let Luke get on the roster only by necessity, only because we don't got nobody else.
Yeah.
What you feel about that, Juan?
I mean, Luke McCaffrey, man. I told y'all I'm in a great area with him. I think it's fair that he's receiving the criticism that he is because he hasn't done much to change that. But I also have this thing where I'm like, he is a 3rd round pick. You invested a high draft pick in him, so why give up on him after 1 year? But to Reedie's point, he ain't doing nothing to make you feel like, all right, I see why we took you with that 3rd round pick. And then to your point about KJ Osborne making it, I'd rather Michael Gallup make it, man.
That might be cap. Reedie might be, I might have went out on the limb on that one.
What do you want this morning?
Yeah, I must have had some good blueberry muffins or something this morning. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know.
Michael Gallup, last chance to make it. Come on, Slim, bring it home. We need you. We need you, bro. This receiving core is nasty, bro. I ain't gonna lie, in a bad way. Outside of Terry, Debo, Noah Brown, it's like Jalen Lane. He's
glad to hear y'all say this. I'm glad to hear y'all say this.
I mean, it's like
just, not to cut you off, but there just was a tweet dropped that Terry McLaurin is at the game today.
He's in the building.
Yeah, he's in the building. He walked in the locker room. So good to see.
Might be close. We might be close.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but also at the end of the day, it's week 1 is around the corner. Like, bro, you gotta get out there. They say he walked out at practice the other day and was in the huddle and with the receivers and standing out there.
T-shirts and hoodie.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Michael was game yesterday.
Yeah, my man walked out eating nachos.
And you ain't see he had to call me.
he was on the trainer's table, just like, no, give me out.
This is hilarious. That situation out there is wild. I don't know what's going on.
Michael's in a worse spot than Terry.
He'll get signed. Like, they're not gonna let him walk.
I don't think so. No,
but what we talking about, they're not gonna let him walk.
No, Micah. If I'm gonna do this real quick. Micah has no leverage. He's still like 3 years left on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
He has nothing. He has no leverage besides, dog, I'm young. I've got all the sack numbers you want in this league. Just pay me. Jerry's like, dog, I'm gonna keep you as cheap.
This is year 4 for Micah, right?
This 25 season is going to be year 4, but he's still on a rookie deal.
Right. So
Yeah,
if they gave him the 5th-year option, he has 1 year. He has 2 years left total.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, he has no leverage.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what that's what they're looking to do nowadays, and that's what we remember. We were talking about this a month or 2 ago about Jayden when he's up to get signed. He's probably going to get signed in year 3, year 4, or year 3 after year 3. So after next year,
yeah,
it would be smart for them to sign his ass then, because it'll be much cheaper if they wait.
It'd be smart, but it's Jerry. You know they won't.
No, I'm talking about for us. I'm talking about
for us. Oh yeah.
But Jerry, they'll get something done. But what he's doing in the trying to drag this thing out, lying on the agent and all of that stuff, and Ryan Clark got to the bottom of it, and he found out that was a lie. So it's crazy work over there, Juan.
Hey, Micah, come recruit. I mean, come. You know what I'm saying? Reunite with your boy DQ, man. You know what I'm saying?
Don't sign no contracts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Look, play your last 2 years out in Dallas. We'll
come to death row.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't want your owner all in the videos. Come to death
You know
row.
what Jerry Jones doing though? He's going to sign him, but he's just soaking up all the media attention into.
For sure. He said it in his old ass self. He said, "If there are no headlines about the Cowboys, I'm gonna make headlines."
They're so screwed, bro. Because even when he's gone, bro.
When he's gone, Steven's got to carry the lineage of, man, I got to make headlines now.
Man, that's crazy. But that's all we got, fellas. Go enjoy today's game.
Zee, y'all got anybody that y'all want to see?
Oh yeah. I want to see Medrano. I think Medrano gonna play today. I want to see a lot of Kane Medrano and just kind of see him assess how he do in the pass game, see if he can make some plays. They talked about early on when he was drafted, needed to improve his tackling, and they were saying over training camp over the summer he definitely been doing better. So want to see him on the defense, and if I had to pick a guy on the offense, I would say, I mean, I definitely like what you mentioned, want to see what comes out of the receivers. But to what Juan said, the quarterback's got to give them an opportunity. In their last few games, it's been trash quarterback play, from the backups. But also a guy like Felton, just to kind of see another element of what he could do. I think he, makes the, well, I don't think he makes it 53, but he would at least be brought back on the practice squad. I feel like he's had some good reps thus far back there, and just somebody that we may hold on to. So just kind of see, the back end of the roster, see what some of these guys could do and who might make a last minute push to make the team. But other than that, just some football to watch for real.
Yeah, it's got to be the QBs. I think I've seen enough from most of the defense. I've seen enough from most of the running back room. We all know what our tight. It's got to be these quarterbacks. It's either Josh Johnson, it's either Sam, Duvin, L'Oreal, Hardman, or we got to go get a QB3. Because if they keep doing what they've been doing, I mean, can I interest you in a Brett Reppin? Can I go trade for Heineke? Like, what are we doing here?
We keep 2 quarterbacks. That's what I say we do, and I don't feel comfortable with that one bit.
It's definitely gonna be 2.
No.
I mean, it's usually 2 anyway, and the third one will be on the practice squad. So,
I mean, yeah, but how comfortable are you with having Sam Hartman? Let's say, God forbid, anything. Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't want Josh Johnson. He's unk, bro. Like he ain't got, bro. I saw that.
Chill on the unks, bro.
Bro, no, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
I mean, Josh Johnson is going to throw a pick every game. Every time he throws a pick, I'll be like, all right, he got his pick out the way. All right, come on now.
That's crazy.
But it ain't wrong. The fact that he gonna throw a pick. Picks are cool. It happens. It's a part of the game. It's what you were. That Bengals interception. What are you doing? It was nobody. Yeah. Like, what are we talking about? Right? Like, I don't feel comfortable with none of these guys as backups, and we're not gonna have to see him, obviously, right? God forbid anything happens to the first 2. But you got Mariota dealing with Achilles tendonitis right? You don't know how that's going to loom around the whole rest of the year. So
they might have to go out and bring in a guy.
Jeff Driscoll.
Like to Juan's point, like I know I was saying Josh Johnson was like kind of solidified as the 3, but do we really want to, like, if something happens, have to worry about that? Like it's giving Gilbert vibes. Remember Gilbert had to come in and play
Gilbert.
Yeah, like it's giving them type vibes.
I had high hopes for that game too. I don't know why. He started hooping a little bit.
He ain't hoop shit. I was at that game.
I'm talking about versus the Eagles.
Yeah, I was at that game. It was cold as shit. It was in COVID. My wife was pregnant. I had to come back and sleep in the basement that night because I was out there amongst all the people in COVID. I'm talking about triple, quadruple mask. Yeah, he ain't do shit.
That game was close. That game was close into the end. That's what I would say. If I can remember my memory correctly, Jared Patterson played that game too. Right?
I remember that shit vividly. He tried to throw the 9, but that shit was like worse than Heineke shit.
Trash.
It was bad. Actually, the only free agent quarterbacks left are Wentz, CJ Beathard, Jeff Driscoll, Jake Fromm.
Oh, John, did you turn?
No,
no.
I know it ain't even 9.
Blow my nose.
Damn.
You know what gave it away too. He tried. Who tried to do this?
Blow my nose early in the morning.
John Kuiper, Randy Savage Jr.
Right, snapping so Slim Jim head.
Hey John, don't hide your love. Don't hide your love for the meat, John. It's okay.
Ooh yeah, face ass.
Juan, I was sexy about your gym video. I was like, dog, what is this view?
Don't turn the camera off, John. It's okay.
That is crazy.
You love the meat, man. It's cool.
9:24 in the morning. Good night.
Nah, definitely ain't that
crazy, bro. My man ain't even had no breakfast yet, and he's snapping into a Slim Jim. That's crazy work.
Hey,
bro. John acting like he locked up, like he making a chi-chi or something with his Slim Jims in the gym. Go ahead, John.
Making a hookup over there. You gotta, you gotta clip that up and send it to Slim Jim, bro, for sure. We need a sponsor. Go ahead and get the
John gotta be the face of the Slim Jim.
Get on chat and whip you up some, John, and get your shit together so we can get this promo.
Gotta do something.
We gotta get John a lifetime supply, man.
All right, God.
Yeah. Well, Juan correspondent Juan will be boots on the ground today for the last training camp game versus the Baltimore Ravens. So we'll be looking for some reporting from Juan to the page coming out about this. But if we don't have anything else, do us a favor, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can get all the informative videos just like this one that we post throughout the season. And people, we are a little bit more than 2 weeks away from week 1. It feels so good to see that.
Week. Yeah, we out here.
Yes. Yes. 2 weeks. So anybody got anything else?
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Without further ado, I'm Reedie.
I'm Zee.
I'm John.
And I'm Juan.
You see that pause, John? Hey,
what?
Slim Jims. He always got to take a pause. He say, I'm Reedie, I'm Zee. And you're like, John, he's always got to clear his
come on, man.
John probably got like 5 in his hand right now as soon as the camera goes
off. So the camera go
No, it's camera go off. I gotta upload this damn video.
Before we go, you know how Slim Jims come in the little packs. John probably be having them drinks over in like a little Ziploc bag to keep them fresh and all that. He's a wild boy.
Go ahead.
But we're gonna holler at y'all, man. We'll see y'all Wednesday.